All right, just as a reminder, we're doing this filming in a family setting, so there might be some ambient background family noises.
That's right.
How will the movement of our solar system through the galactic plane affect our solar system and Earth and us here on Earth?
Well, I wasn't alive the last time that actually happened, but here's what I've been told. One of the biggest concerns is that it has a very, very strong gravitational field. It also has a magnetic field. It's also an area, because of its magnetic field, where there's a considerable amount of debris. And as our solar system and everything in the galaxy revolves around it, okay, while we're also going around in the circle, it is not an actual complete elliptical circle. We move in a downward and an upward thrust, which takes approximately, from what I understand, 12,600 years, where things go up and then they come back down. It is the crossing the galactic plane that the A's, Morine and Visayas, were specifically really worried about Earth, in the fact that it was their opinion, based on their own science, that when the Earth hits the galactic plane, the Earth itself would bounce off that gravitational field, causing a great deal of Earth changes, where every coastline on the planet would be changed from the bouncing before we were able to move through. That's my understanding. I don't know if it's going to cause a physical pole shift or not. That is always a possibility. We do know from the geological record that that's happened. I don't know that that's going to occur this time. However, they were greatly concerned again, and I want to reiterate this, that every coastline on the planet would be changed. So, take that for what it's worth.
Now, you've said that there are an enormous amount of benevolent ETs helping us. What are the primary actions they're taking to help Earth humanity, and will their actions be enough?
I can't say that I know specifically and exactly what every intervention has been. I do know that there have been. And will it be enough? I don't know, Rick. I would assume that they're making an investment here of their time and their energy to help us get through these dramatic stages, to get through these challenges, these moments of growth that we obviously have to go through, because here they are right in front of us. So we can just hope and have faith.
For people who are afraid that they won't survive during any Earth changes, what spiritual or philosophical view have the Andromedans shared with you that you think may help people to overcome their fears?
If you go to Defending Sacred Ground, there's a lot of knowledge that they've imparted. One of the essays in regards to fear is one. The other essay, the isness, worshipping the isness, a relationship to the isness. There's an awful lot of wisdom that they have imparted, but they've always called this time coming the moment of advanced maturity. So I don't necessarily know how to answer that question. I know that I'm not going to be living on the coastline. I'm going to be moving to the Rocky Mountains, to areas along the Colorado Plateau. That's where I'm going to be, at least here in North America. So everybody, people have to listen to themselves. They have to get their own guidance. This isn't about, saviors. This is about everybody becoming their own Christed being and figuring it out and listening and tuning in and figuring out, what they're supposed to do, where they're supposed to be. That's the purpose of maturity, is to get to that place. For example, Rick, we can go back to the question that I asked many, many years ago, what was going to happen to us? And the response was to become totally self-confident and free, to unconditionally be responsible for oneself without being coerced to accept some higher authority. And that's it. That's the essence of advanced maturity, is getting to that place and just knowing. Just knowing. And I'm not here to teach people that. That's I never would have signed up for that. Not the way, the Earth civilization has treated its, those kind of teachers. They've been ruthless with them. I never would have volunteered for something like that.
In terms of survival, though, we talked a little last evening about it, and you said survival is a false premise. What did you mean by that? In a spiritual sense.
In a spiritual sense, the physicality is just a moment. You're here, the only reason you experience physicality is to learn lessons, to gather knowledge, to experience all kinds of things, from spiritual, emotional, mental, physical, to gather data to educate your soul. I know a lot of people have a very difficult time with the concept of reincarnation, but I have absolutely no doubt that that is the way that it is. That we don't die when our physical body stops working. We move on. We go somewhere else, and many of us come back, and we live again, and we learn different lessons and create different scenarios to provide us with the lessons of knowledge that we want in order to educate our soul. This isn't new knowledge. People long before, for thousands of years, have been talking about this. And the reason I believe that those kind of teachings have persisted is because they're right. And it doesn't make sense to me. It would never make sense to me if I were the creator of all to give people, souls, one lifetime, 70 some odd years, on this planet to figure it all out, to get it right. That'd be impossible. It would absolutely be impossible to do. Especially when it's as screwed up and twisted as it is.
So to kill in order to survive doesn't make sense in terms of...
No, it doesn't make sense, because the whole idea of advanced maturity, moving into spiritual advanced maturity, is to learn how to create love. Because that's the ultimate lesson here, is you create love, you leave a legacy of love. Nothing else is real. It just doesn't stick. It doesn't... it seems real because you have so much emotion tied to it, but it isn't real. It doesn't last. The effects of it don't really last. It's a difficult thing to explain, and I wasn't actually prepared for the question.
That's all right.
So you slipped that in there. But that's about all I can say on it at the moment.
Alex, what did you mean when you talk about our human DNA unlocking?
My understanding from the A's is that certain cosmic events were going to occur and or could be manipulated by benevolent extraterrestrials, where they apparently have some technology that would allow cellular memory to release within our body. And somehow that would create a reaction of total physical remembrance, not only for the body, but also for the mind and for the soul. Now you see, when the soul attaches itself to the body before birth, it attaches to the central nervous system. All right? Now that is where apparently we have, that's the soul's connection to the body. That's where it connects. We have all kinds of cellular memory within our body. Our DNA, it passes from generation to generation to generation to generation. Now our subconscious mind knows a lot of this, but our conscious mind doesn't. And then there's a lot that's in there that neither can recognize. So basically it's dismissed. But the body has memory. The cells have memory, which they call cellular memory.